Bound methods are functions that are also class attributes, where the self argument has already been filled in with an instance of the class. Let's review all the terminology. All objects have attributes, which are name-value pairs that can be looked up by name. A class is a type. It's a category of objects. Classes are objects as well, so they have attributes. An instance attribute is an attribute of an instance of a class, whereas a class attribute is an attribute of the class itself, which can still be accessed from an instance. A class attribute, which is also a function, is a method. In the Python object system, functions are objects and bound methods are also objects. They are just a function that was a class attribute and has had its first parameter self already bound to an instance of the class. Dot expressions evaluate to bound methods for class attributes that are functions. If I write instance.methodName, I get a bound method where the method was looked up by its name. It started out as a function, but then the instance was filled in as the first argument, and so when calling this bound method, I just have to pass in the rest of the arguments. Python distinguishes between functions, which we've been creating since the start of the course, and bound methods, which couple together a function and the object on which that method will be invoked. So an object and a function bound together gives you a bound method. If I look up a method using its class, I just get a function. But if I look up a method using an instance of the account class, then I get a bound method. This distinction is important because there are two different ways to call this deposit function. One is to call it as a function, wherein I need to pass in both self and amount as the two arguments. The other, and much more common way, is to call it as a bound method, where TomAccount.deposit automatically fills in the self argument, and so I only have to pass in the amount.